that invite, extending the invitation to have somebody come with you, whether to a networking event, a social event, or even to the game that's coming up soon. Though you want to ask in a way that ensures you get a yes. Now, not everybody's going to respond or be excited about the same things that you are. And so you want to make sure you're treating people the way that they want to be treated, inviting them the way they want to be invited in such a way that they want to be there. And that's what we're here to talk about today, how to get people to say a yes. And Jason Avery will be my co-host or my guest or whatever you want to call it today as we talk about how to get people to say yes. So thank you so much for being here, Jason.
I'm glad to be here, Tiffany. Thanks for having me.
I asked Jason if he'd want to have some fun and be the center of attention being live here on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Those were words that were music to his ears or his eyes. It was technically an email. But he said yes. And so that's the goal, is asking people to do things in such a way that they want to say yes. So excited to have you here, Jason. What has you excited for the people that are watching out there?
I always have fun with these conversations, and it's so apparent every day in real life, the behavioral conflicts that come up. And I mean, just even in my own business yesterday, I have, a production manager and a subcontractor. One of them's a go-getter, one of them's a nurturer, and it's just classic room full of referrals. And but talking people off ledges is what I do. I'm the promoter, I'm the influencer. So I try to change their mind. And I thank God I was successful, because if I couldn't change their mind, I'd just have to run like hell from the problem. And it's, what promoters do. But, just one person being direct and the other who thinks that might be a little harsh or rude, eventually takes too much, draws a line in the sand, and then says, I can't deal with that person anymore. And, this is day-to-day regular stuff. It happens with my employees. I'm sure it's happening with yours. It happens with customers. Husbands and wives are often wired quite opposite. They say those opposites attract, and but they often create conflict in the differences.
All right. So we've got a lot to talk about. And if you're wondering, what is this promoter? What is this go-getter? Fret not, we're going to get there in just a moment. But first, I want to formally introduce Jason Avery. He is a co-facilitator with me in the Incentive Realm, where we work on the room full of referrals, which utilizes the platinum roles, treat other people the way that they want to be treated. So you can increase your relatability, which increases your referability, which leads to more profitability. Yay. When he's not doing that, he's got plenty of other stuff going on. He is the owner of Avery Construction, an amazing remodeling, specializing in kitchen and baths company here in the Tampa Bay area. He also owns Design Cabinets, LLC, and he is with Construct Success, where he's coaching not only general contractors and trades, though a lot of those, where'd my camera go? A lot of those to make some things happen. And I'm just going to keep talking until it comes back. There we go. Oops.
I felt like one of those old movies where I should start moving my lips and the words wouldn't match the lip.
Who knows what's going on with my camera? That's interesting. Let's hope it doesn't do it again.
The joy of going live.
Yes. And speaking of going live, if you're watching, we would love to hear from you. And, put your comments if you're on YouTube or on LinkedIn. If you're on Facebook, yes, leave your comments too. And either go to this link here on the screen, chat.restream.io/FB, because that will let Restream know who you are, or just put your name in the comment. That way we can share what it is that you have to say. All right, Jason. I think I was talking about constructing success. So he mainly coaches general contractors and tradespeople on, creating that success within their business. However, the system applies. I know an attorney that he's worked with to help them really master their numbers. So he's got a wealth of information, though today we're here to talk about the room full of referrals. So you mentioned there's 4 behavioral styles. You want to give us a light overview of what that looks like?
Our go-getters are those, very powerful in the way that they come across to the world, type of people, very proud, very bold, very direct, very take charge, gotta win kind of attitude, hate losing, gonna argue their way to the end. They get results, they're driven, they make things happen. But sometimes they're, a little harsh in their approach, and it could be turning off some other people that they're trying to build a relationship with. You then have your promoters, whereas the go-getter was being very fast-paced and very task-oriented. your promoters are very fast paced, but very people oriented. And so they tend to be your marketing people, your sales people, your independent people who are just floating around all over the place, social butterflies. They like to know everybody. It's kind of maybe on a shallower level. They know everybody on a first name basis, but they're very colorful and bright and exciting and entertaining. And they speak with their hands, and they're excitable kind of people. Unfortunately, sometimes they're viewed as being a little flighty. Others are wondering if they're actually going to follow up. Then you have those slower paced, people oriented people, the nurturers, or like the glue holding the organization together. They're the ones who genuinely care about the well being of the others, around them. They show up to help others. That's what really drives their passion. They softer spoken, lower tonality, not dressing to stand out, and they're helping other people get by, but sometimes indecisive, can't kind of get out of their own way. The more you try and get them to make a fast-paced decision, the more they clam up and can't make the decision at all. They, need more information. They're just not comfortable. You got to make them comfortable. And then we get the slower-paced, task-oriented people that we call the examiners. The examiners are those very detailed, data-driven, research and results. They're perfectionists at what they do, tend to work, very solo in that capacity. Your accountants, your IT people, but they with that aren't letting people in. They got this bubble and they're trying to keep everybody out of it. And, you got to get out there and brag about your business some if you're going to be, you got to brag about your business some if you're going to promote and grow. So the idea is learning about how others behave a little differently than you do so that you can identify that and then adapt a little bit, become a little bit more relatable, more referable. So, and not let your behavior affect your referability with others.
And that so can happen. That's super, super easy to see done. Now, I will let you know, we learn a lot about this in Roomful of Referrals. So we're here for a few minutes doing a live. We actually have a 3-hour program there on the screen. It's into Roomful of Referrals, https all that stuff, bit.ly/TKR. What's on the screen? Y'all can see it. In the links. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. And we'll put that into the comments as well. But that gives the schedule for the upcoming programs. Our next one is in February. Though if you're watching this past February of 2023, that website is always the same where you can go check it out and see what's going on. You can also check it out on tampa.ascentive.com. Though if you're curious right now, well, maybe after this video is over, here is our link. It is another bit.ly, which I will put in the comments, RO quiz. So that's our Roomful of Referral quiz. If you want to go take that, 8 simple questions to determine your style. Now, Jason kind of gave you an overview of the different styles. Before we get into how do we invite them, actually, you know what? We're going to talk about how we invite them, and then we'll kind of get into how do you know what style people are. So, Jason, you are going to be part of the More Money, More Time, and More Fun Summit that is happening December 9th, 2022, where we will actually be doing a live mini Roomful of Referrals program. So it'll be 20 or 30 minutes where Jason is actually working with the people on screen. It's a really unique event because what we do is, I know on Zoom not everybody loves it, but we actually have the people turn on their cameras that are a certain style and everybody else turn off their cameras. So you can only see on screen the different styles. And it's a really great visualization of how people are showing up, how you can know what their style is, because once you know their style, you'll be able to treat them the way that they're going to be treated. What else are you going to be sharing with us during that event, Jason? Do you even know yet? It's far, far away.
Tiffanie, I focus on what's right in front of my face this moment and then what I'm going to do 10 years from now. But December 9th, I know we're going to have a ton of fun. Tiffanie and I have broken off this portion of the class before. And yeah, it's amazing when you can see into certain people's worlds. And you say, what do just the Go-Getters have in their background? What are they wearing when they showed up? What kind of language are they speaking with? What does their title bar look like below their name? all that stuff is relevant. And it's funny, the clues that you can see. Tiffanie, being a little bit more go-getter than myself, has more declared accomplishments in her background. If you notice her books hanging on the wall, that's a clue. And that is definitely a clue to her style. And promoters like myself, noticing me just talking with my hands all the time, I can't help myself. That's a clue to my style. But bright and shiny objects, if you see things sparkling in the background, that might be a clue. These are all little things that are fun to look into people's little Zoom worlds and see what's behind them.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. So we're going to kind of go through, if we're going to be at the summit, here's why you might want to be at the summit, or we also can look at it as how you might invite somebody for the summit. Though we do have a Facebook user. I'm not sure who this is yet. It looks like somebody is tagging on Facebook for Kat for the class that they're interested in, the room full of referrals. So we'll find out and make sure. Yes, we definitely want you to come on out and hang out.
And I know that tag name. That is actually my eldest stepdaughter, who is starting a new career in real estate. Just got a real estate license, and so now she's interested in coming to the summit and the next room full of referrals, so she can start to explore what networking is all about as she grows her business.
Yeah, I find this a really great thing to do with my family. Adult family, because really there's a lot going on that behavioral styles make life so much easier. Mm-hmm. So if I'm talking to a go-getter, just a brief little overview, hints that the person that I'm talking to might be a go-getter. They're fast-paced. They like to look good, suits, very elegant, high confidence level. Sometimes the go-getters can come across a little bit as arrogant, though they think that's confidence. So if I'm promoting the summit to the go-getter, if I'm promoting, hey, Mr. Go-getter, Mrs. Go-getter, like what are some things that the go-getter wants to know about an event so we can kind of craft that conversation? What would they want to know? What's important to the go-getters when inviting?
What kind of results are going to come from this? That's the biggest thing. And what's in it for them? And because they're, perceiving their time as being busy. I'm busy. I'm trying to get things done. I'm trying to make things happen. Why should I chisel out this chunk of time? And it's going to be so important to me. And so it might be based on the introductions of the people that are going to be there, the things that are going to come out of it that, they're going to gain, business. Or
so like they're going to get to network with people from across the globe.
Yeah. The bigger and the better and the classier and the more professional that it sounds, the more opportunity that they might have a chance to showcase or showboat themselves a little bit. If there's an opportunity for them to introduce themselves to a crowd of powerful people, and the bigger names that come to the table, the other successful people that they can surround themselves with, these are the things that attract the go-getter.
Gotcha. So they're probably interested in the Dr. Ivan Meisner and Bob Berg and Mike Michalowicz are going to be part of this. Yes, they're going to walk away with action plan.
Because they're always driving forward. So if you can put somebody out there that may have achieved a little more than they have, absolutely, that's going to be definitely attractive to them to want to try and associate with that type of person. They feel they might, elevate themselves by surrounding themselves with those type of people.
Awesome. So now if I'm talking to a promoter to invite them to come with me, or maybe I am the promoter now, just again, a little overview of the promoter appearances. So, you might be talking to this. They are usually upbeat and fast paced with that trendy dress. This is definitely promoter dress going on today. In the background, I've got, let's switch it around. I've got my little baby Yoda and all my little fun over here. So you'll often see them showing you the fun that they're having. They smiles, laughter, energy. And as Jason mentioned, this is really hard for me when we're on Restream like this. Because if we're on Zoom, Zoom, you get to use the full wide screen. And then I can talk with my hands out here. However, I feel like we're so small and let's make us bigger. But it just means we have to talk like our hands like this. Does that drive you nuts, Jason? I'm trying to keep my hands in frame.
I have to back up just to give my hands more room.
Here's something I've always been a massive hand talker, but since Zoom, I used to, you talk with your hands down here and do this, that, and the other. But since Zoom, I'm I talk with my hands at my head. That's such a weird thing to do in person, but it is what it is. All right, Jason. So a promoter, why might they be interested in coming to the summit? What would they want to know in order to make it an appealing invite?
Most importantly, you're going to have to make it sound like it's going to be fun. And if
Ah.
it's not fun, they're not going to go. If
So
it sounds
the
like
fact
a
that
boring class or lecture, they're not going to go.
So they probably would be excited about the fact that most of the presentations are only 10 to 20 minute long. So it's nice, short, kind of TEDx length talks.
Yeah, this is a very fast-paced, fast-moving class covering a number of different cool topics, and many of the parts of it are engaging, and so you're going to be interactive with other people that are going to be there. You're going to get to meet a lot of new people because there's going to be a ton of people in the audience. That the more, the better. They being the center of attention, and if there's a chance to present and speak, absolutely, that's what it's all about for promoters.
And the promoters might enjoy the fact that we will have breakout sessions during each chunk. So the chunks of the day are broken down from 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 2, 2 to 4. And then there's a happy hour brewing up business at the end of the day. I know they're going to be ready with their drinks by the end of the day if they make it till 4. They may start early. You never know with those promoters. But we'll also, in addition to the breakout rooms every session, we're going to have a fun session. So we've got like a business magician coming in. We're going to be doing some chair yoga. We've got a cheeseburger meditation. So we've got some fun stuff mixed in to keep it nice and lively. And we'll let you have breaks. I know that's a long time to go. As we look at the nurturers, our next group, so they're more reserved in their appearance if you're talking to them. Probably not the massive hand movement, not the bright colors. They're much more likely to be pastel or natural colors, little makeup, little jewelry, and they're probably the ones that are listening the most. So I'm guessing the nurturer will not be as intrigued by the invitation you would extend to the go-getter or to the promoter. So what are some things that matter to the nurturer?
Well, the nurturer does have a thirst for more information, and again, because that makes them feel more comfortable when they've had a chance to kind of learn in advance about what to expect, and so this will be a great opportunity to really learn about others, learn how you could help others more efficiently, more effectively, how you can really serve better, because that's what they appeal to. It's they're not so much there for themselves as they are there for others. And so, if you can teach them how they might be a better provider, a better nurture, they want to be nurturing. So if you teach them how to be a better nurturer, those nurturers, then that's something that they appeal to. If you can give them any kind of a task or an assignment, hey, I could really use your help doing this during the event. That's a great way, of course, to appeal. The nurturers can just remember it's not about trying to say, hey, you need to do this and sign up right now. And hey, I've got a suggestion that I think could be really good for you. And why don't you check out this information and see what you think? We can talk about it more later. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. But I really think this could be good for you and good for the two of us to go together. Going in unison, not just sending somebody to an event on their own, but if we're going to go as a group and we're going to learn together, that's definitely appealing to the nurture.
So the community, let's be together. They're probably going to really enjoy the masterminding sessions where everybody gets to help each other brainstorm ideas for how they can be more successful with more money, more time, more fun.
Don't tell them we're going to open up their windows and look into their world and all that and call them out as nurturers, because that might scare them away from coming to the event. And we'll convince them during the process that this will be helpful to everybody else if they would participate. And
gotcha. And so the nurturers will probably greatly
attention.
The nurturers will probably greatly appreciate the fact that a week prior to the event, we're actually having an hour program on how to get the most out of the More Money, More Time, More Fun Summit. Like, I don't foresee as many promoters there, but the nurturers probably will enjoy just getting the lay of the land before they get there, huh?
Yeah. Absolutely. Right. Give them plenty of time to warm up to the idea.
All right. So our last group, we have the examiners. And now the examiners, some clues to their appearance. They're more reserved, darker colors usually, so it's easy to mix and match in the wardrobe. They might look a little awkward at functions. They're not always It's interesting. I was on a call yesterday or a Zoom, and I was in somebody else's audience, and they were talking about these people at networking events with their arms crossed, like just, and they're like, yeah, they're just being standoff. And I'm like, no, they're just being examiners. Like, they're so awkward and uncomfortable. They don't want to be there. They're just examining the situation. Yeah. So you just have to approach them the right way. So if I was going to talk to an examiner to invite them to this summit, what details might I include?
All of the details, every detail you have about it should be included, because that's, again, an examiner is all about data, information, results, and understanding, why would I want to go to this? And so it really has to be about what's going to become of it. And there's a lot of people going to be in the room. You don't necessarily have to do a bunch of talking to these people, but you're going to learn about some specific, tricks and tips that'll make you more efficient when you're doing your relationship building process, because that is a necessary part of our business. And they understand that. And if you can give them a way to be more effective or more efficient at it, how to, accomplish the task or the goal faster, then they're going to be more apt to listen. But you're going to need to tell them everything about it. When is it happening? Why is it happening? Where is it happening? What do I got to do to be prepared for it? And am I supposed to bring anything? Do I got to do any, preliminary homework? I got to send that link in advance and make sure that they've gone to it. Because if they show up to the event and they haven't finished the link that other people got, that'll just start the whole day off wrong. So, again, making sure they're totally prepared with all the information. That's and why go? Because, again, this is necessary to do this relationship building thing, and these people are going to have tips and tricks on how to move those relationships beyond the visibility and the credibility and the profitability at a much faster pace. And that's what appeals to the examiners.
So it's interesting. I did a summit last week. Man, time just flies, doesn't it? And I'm like, hey, can I get the agenda? And they're like, oh, we don't really have an agenda. And I'm like, and I'm go-getter promoter, and like just whatever is fine most of the time. But I'm like, can you give me some idea of what the day looks like? And so that's why I've been working really hard, because I get it's much easier not to have an agenda and you just go with what you go with. However, it's like, no, let's see what's going on. So for the examiners, I will have the full agenda. We're working on it right now. It is on the website. Let me give you that website again. It's somewhere on here with all my bit.ly links. It's the More Summit. That one was easy. And I think the go-getters will like this. The nurturers will like this. The examiners will like this. I don't know that the promoters will care. We're actually going to have like a workbook for the summit, somewhere you can actually take notes. The promoters are probably like, ooh, yay, fun notepads, if they're even taking notes. But the examiners definitely will appreciate the fact that, hey, there's something where you can write it in place wherever it is that you want it. So super excited about that for the examiners. All right. I want to switch gears here, because we've kind of talked about the styles. We've talked a little bit about, how you can identify them, and then the information that you need to invite them. And we've been using the summit as an example, though Jason's given us some really great details and content about the different things that they're looking for. However, I'm all about fun examples. So I decided, hey, Jason, let's pretend you're inviting somebody to a game. Now, Jason and I live in the Tampa Bay area, and while I root for the Bucks, I am nowhere near as big as a Bucks fan as Jason, and he was a big Bucks fan even before Brady came down here and we won the Super Bowl. How are the Tampa? How are the Buccaneers doing now?
Well, we're 3-3, so we're not that excited right this second. But we're going to pull it out, and Brady hits his stride late in the season. We're making it to the playoffs, and we got another shot at it. I'm 100% confident. So,
yeah, we don't have to have the best record to win the Super Bowl. Not necessary.
No. Statistically speaking, the best record team never wins the Super Bowl.
There you go. All right. So whether you're inviting to the football game, baseball, let's see what else I got. Basketball, football, soccer, or football for the rest of the world, or hockey. I mean, I don't know if that's hockey or not. Kind of looks like hockey there on the screen. We've got the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yay, I go for them a little bit more. But Jason, let's say you are inviting a go-getter to a game. What might that conversation look like? And why don't you just use the specifics of the Bucks? And for those of you watching,
I
You can
do
just
this.
put in
I've
whatever you
been a
want.
season pass holder for 10 years. I do this inviting thing to the Bucks game all the time.
Love it.
You know, so
I'm inviting a go-getter.
if it's the go-getter, you know, again, they like high class, they like being the best. So, hey, I got really great seats down in the lower section on the Bucks side. We'll catch shade in the afternoon. We're the nearest to the pirate ship. We're right on the goal line when they score. This is going to be some great seats. You're going to love them, and that'll attract the go-getter.
Ah, excellent. And how about the promoter?
The promoter. You should see how many people show up to my tailgate. There's going to be a ton of people there. It's like a cornhole championship tournament. And now remember, when we go in there, we represent the 12th man. So we're going to scream and yell and wave our arms and be as loud as we possibly can, and in order to make sure we support our team when we're there.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. If I was inviting the nurture.
The nurture. Hey, I've got some really close friends of mine that I've been tailgating with for 10 years. I mean, the one woman's my son's preschool teacher. I mean, they were after school daycare. We've had a relationship forever. I just love these people. I'd love for you to meet them if you guys want to hang out with us for the day and get to know some of my closest friends.
Awesome. Love it. And then the examiner, who is probably least excited about getting into a massive crowd of people, how would you invite them?
Yeah, I'm asking myself how many examiners are really big sports fans. But again, what could be in it for them otherwise? Hey, you know, when I do this tailgate every week, I always invite, you know, that I want to introduce to other professionals. I know people join my tailgate from around, and I mean, I've got lawyers and some other people that show up to my events all the time. I'd love to be able, you know, maybe make some introductions for you there that could be really good for you and your business. And, you know, we'll have a couple of hours of, you know, strategically working on those relationships before we go into the game.
So we're multitasking or multi-purposing the game, so it's an efficient use of our time.
That's how I spend all my time, and I learned that in incentive programs and with Tiffanie, and where the mantra was have an amazing business, live a spectacular life, figure out how to tie the two of them together so that when you go to work, you're really just going to play, and or really when you're going to play, you're actually getting some work done. And so that's the reality of it. I do my best meetings on golf courses or on the boat or at the Bucks game or, you know, fishing or clay shooting, you know, anything that's, you know, a passion of mine, a hobby of mine, something that I enjoy. Why not, you know, have like-minded people who enjoy the same things you do as your best referral partners? It's the greatest way to deepen the relationship and move forward.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jason, for sharing with us, you know, how to invite, how to get people to give us that yes, even if it's just you want to come to the game with me. So appreciate it. If you want more information on this, you can go to the bit.ly down there on the screen where you can learn more about the Room Full Referrals program. And in the meantime, Jason will be a part of our More Time, More Money, More Fun Summit, which the examiner side of me, which is small, is like, Tiffanie, you just went out of order. The promoter side of me is like, maybe nobody noticed. Did you notice, Jason, that I went out of order?
No, I didn't notice.
He's like, yeah, it was close.
I'm still stuck on thinking about those examiners at the sports game. And I'm thinking, you know what? I think those times that I had an examiner come with me, those are the people that showed up and they weren't wearing a jersey. You know, they like wore some other outfit, you know. I mean, who goes to the Bucks game without wearing a jersey, even if it's your other team? You know, but
I've only been to one Bucks game, and I actually don't have any Bucks gear. I guess I need to get some. I've got at least got like a Rays jersey, and I've got my Lightning. I've got a couple Lightning shirts. My dog has a Lightning shirt.
I usually carry a back. I carry a backup in the truck just so that if I have to loan out to somebody, because the person sitting beside me at the game, not even wearing a Bucks attire. Come on. So.
Hey, here's the promoter that wants to show you how they feel on the inside, on the outside. How could you not wear the merch? So Jason, it has been a blast. I've had a ton of fun, got a lot of information. Hopefully you're able to use this to have more money, more time, and more fun. Maybe we'll see you in December or February, sometime soon. Jason, thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you, Tiffanie.
And happy networking, y'all.